Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. This is making espresso with Breville Barista Pro. Currently, I'm working on the machine that my friend has, Matthew. Right, his machine has a problem of pouring too fast, no matter what we do. Right, whether we adjust the grind size, we attempt harder, we give it more beans, it just doesn't improve the situation. So I tell Matthew that, hey, why not you pass the machine to me and I try to do a diagnosis and see whether I can actually help you solve the problem. So I've been playing with his machine for a few days, right? And for the first 2 days, I realized that no matter what I do, I still get horrible pour, right? Only today, this morning, right? I decided to change the internal burr setting. So what I did was I actually clean up, do a bit of housekeeping on the burr, right? Take out the grinder, use a paintbrush to try to clean up the beans inside, right? And also, and you can see that I removed the internal burr, and this morning I set it to an internal setting of 3. The factory default is actually 6. So now I will try to set it back to 6, right, to see how the grind size does actually the grind size actually matters, cause any changes to the way we pour, right, and the extraction. So I'm doing this with one hand, so it's a bit difficult, but I'll try my best. Right, so right now I'm actually adjusting the internal burr setting back to 6. Right, just now was set at 3 because this morning I played with it. So now I'm returning back to a factory default 6. So just clean it up a bit. Right, you can see that now. Okay, let me zoom in better. Let me zoom in closer to give you a better view. Okay, I hope you can see better. Right, you can see that there's actually 5 numbers inside the inner ring. Right, there's a setting of 1, which is the finest, to I can't remember what's the largest number inside. So before you want to adjust the internal burr setting, you have to remove the hook, and then you can actually gently turn the exterior knob, right? So you can see that it can be turned. So now you can see that the red dot is pointing at 6. So this is where the original factory preset is. So now I'll be using the original preset setting that come from the factory. Right, so after that, you can put that hook, the metal hook, back on, and then we put it back to the burr. Right, make sure it's locked properly. You can hear the click sound when it's properly locked. Right, place the handle to the side, lock back your bean hopper. Right, and let's grind some beans and see how the coffee looks like. For this time, I'm still using the Cafe Metalla beans, the maximum blend. So if you are interested to get the coffee from me, and if you're in Singapore, right, you can always send me a private message. Right, so let's measure 18 grams, right, approximately 18 grams. The new scale that I'm getting is up to accuracy of 0.1 gram, so it should be more accurate. Right, it's a bit too much, so let's take out some beans from there. Something wrong with the scale. Yeah, it's acting up a bit weird. So I think I'll just empty the whole thing and try again. I think it should be okay now. Oh, back to 8.6 grams. Something is wrong. These are really cheap scale that I got from Singapore. Right, it's probably shipped from China. Right, but it's really quite accurate and looks pretty good. Right, so about 18 grams. Yep, exactly 18 grams. Okay, let's dump it into the hopper and grind. Before that, I usually will heat up my portafilter with the cook head, and at the same time warm the cup as well, so that everything is kept warm. Just run a blind shot, single shot through the portafilter, and I think it should be pretty good. Just wipe it dry with a dry cloth. I'm using a microfiber towel. That's the new design that I have. Right, it's pretty awesome. Right, it doesn't. It actually contains all the coffee ground inside, and the pointy fingers actually activate the burr quite effectively. So I can start and stop, and my portafilter can stay in the silicone holder. Right, so now you can see, as one of my viewers says, I shouldn't adjust the burr grinder setting when the burr is not working. So now I try to adjust only when the burr is grinding beans. Right, so you can see all the grounds are contained within the dosing funnel. Right, just give a tap on the side so that the coffee ground can settle down evenly. Right, next we use a finger to try to cup the ground towards the center, right, and also to distribute it a bit before we use the distributor. Normally I do this on the table with a tamping mat, but because I'm using my camera cannot go down to the table, so I'm doing it mid-air. But I think it works pretty well. This distributor tool is really a good tool to have. It actually can give you more consistency, always give you a level surface, and the tamping you just have to do it lightly. Right, so let's look at how it pour. And I will usually put a digital scale below to see how many grams I'm extracting. Right, I'm using 18 grams, so I'm expecting about 40 to 45 grams. I know this is more than 1:2 ratio, but I think the coffee still stays rather good to taste, so it's not under extracted or over extracted at all. So you can see the pour looks okay, and it starts to bubbles, and you can see that the flow is high when the setting is at 6 in the internal burr. But it has been much improved from before. Right, I should show you a few videos at the end. Right, you can see how it actually pour in the past before I clean up the burr. The crema looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's try to froth some milk, and if I can, do some latte art. Alright, always purge your steam arm before you steam your milk, because there's always water within the steam arm when you first start it. Same thing, just bury the steam tip just below the milk surface. Let the air mix with the milk, aerate the milk, form micro bubbles, micro foams. As the milk foam rises, to a certain level that you feel that's okay, you can dip the steam tip down below the surface of the milk to warm the rest of the milk. To a temperature that is too hot to touch. Right, wipe it down after you have done it and purge the remaining milk out, otherwise it'll be very hard for you to clean next time if the milk built up in your steam wok, right? It's quite nasty. Right, okay, so now let's try some latte art. Looks okay. Give me a feedback and see how I do. Okay, now the second run, I'm going to adjust the internal burr again. Now I'm going to adjust to grind size 3 internally. So again, I'm going to use a brush to gently brush all the remnants of the coffee ground or coffee beans into the burr. Then I will lock it up again and I'll run the burr, run the grind, so that the remaining beans can be ground out. Right, you can try to do this maybe once every 2 weeks to clean up your burr, right, and to get rid of the beans, the ungrounded beans inside, because sometimes we may not be using the machine for a while and the beans inside will stale, and there's always a bit of grounds left inside the burr. Right, so now we can remove it by turning it anti-clockwise. Right, again I'm going to use a brush to clean a bit. It's quite tough to do with one hand. Let's try to get a close-up to see if you can see better. I think my camera refused to focus. Okay, remove the handle. And now gently turn the outer rim. Right, in this way I'm going to turn to a smaller number, right, from 6. Right, I'm going to adjust to number 3. Right, you can see a red dot there, the first red dot on the clockwise, right, the one I'm showing now. Right, I'm going to turn so that now you'll be at the grind size of 3. This is the internal burr, right? And once you lower down the grind size internally, right, the external burr adjustment, you can actually go for a slightly coarser grind. Right, and you have more room to play in your external burr setting. Right, put back the handle. Right, let's put it back to the burr. Right, again, use your finger to cup it to the center. Right, so that later on when you use the distributor, the coffee will not spill out. Right, use the tamper, just lightly tamp it. You can try my method here, as long as the portafilter is not too hot to touch. Okay, let's see how it extracts this time. Right, the cup has been properly warmed up. Right, let's put the scale and measure the extraction. Okay, let me bring you closer. Right, you can see that grind setting is at 5. Right, I'm just going to use a preset double shot. I'm not going to use custom. Right, so you can see that now the coffee doesn't come out immediately. Right, it actually goes through pre-infusion for about 7 seconds to 8 seconds. And the pour is much more consistent as compared to the previous one. Right, it doesn't bubble up, it flows slowly like honey. Right, the pour is still slightly fast. I'm sure I can adjust it to become better if I reduce the grind size. Right, so you can see the extraction has been improved tremendously. Okay, I get about 40 plus grams of coffee out. Right, the crema looks fantastic. Okay, let's try the froth milk again. Okay, if you like my video and what I'm doing, right, please do consider subscribe to my channel and share the video, and do ring the bell for notifications for future video releases. Right, at the end I'm going to show you how the machine actually functions before I do the cleanup of the burr and the final adjustment in the internal burr.